Hi guys, and welcome back to Path of the Barbell. It's that time of year. It's prediction time for the groups for World's Strongest Man this year. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Group 1. Now, for Group 1, we have Brian Shaw, Graham Hicks, Ivers Schmuckstellis, Maxime Boudreau, and Travis Ortmeyer. So super stacked group. Arguably number 2 behind Alexi's group. But you can make an argument for Jerry's group as well. So for this group, we got 3 finalists, Brian, Graham, and Ivers. And I think it's going to be a really tricky call for second place. I think everybody agrees that Brian's the most likely to win this group, even though it is a squat and fingers group. Brian is still the second best squatter in the group behind Graham, and I don't see him dropping points on any of the other events. If they had a max overhead in the heats, I could see Graham making a push to win. But because it's a medley, I think Brian's going to stay up in that first place, second place, first place, second place on all of the events. He's just too consistent. He's too good. I don't see anybody picking him for the first place. That being said, second place is very tough to call. If you look online, everybody's saying Graham Hicks, but I personally disagree. I think if we were going to ask ourselves who are the best strongmen in this group, yeah, it would be Brian and Graham. But that's not what World's Strongest Man is about. It's about who can be the best to win the heat and then who's best at stones. And we have 3 very similarly talented stone lifters in this group. If it were a stone eliminator based on purely max reps, I would give it to Graham. And if it were the same stone eliminator as last year, I would give it to Maxime. Because if you look at the times for the stone eliminator last year, Maxime did 7 stones in 38 seconds. Ivers did 7 stones in 39 seconds, so he was 1 second slower. So those guys are directly comparable. 1 second, you can't say that Maxime's would beat him on the day. And Graham only got 6 stones in 35 seconds, I believe it was, or 34. That being said, I didn't go back and watch his stone run, so that might be the result of him just not needing to do more. In which case, if he had to do another one, he would have been right in that same time zone. So, interestingly enough, with 2021, they've decided to do max for time, and then once you get to the final stone, if the other guy's still there, you go back and forth with I think it's like 200 kg, really heavy stone. So, what I'm saying is, while Graham is probably the second best strongman in the group, I think Ivers or Maxime could beat him on the stone eliminator. That being said, who do I think is going to be in that top 3? Because we can't have Ivers, Graham, and Maxime all duking it out on stones, right? Well, if we look at the events, they have all the same as everybody else. So they have Giants medley. No, I'm sorry, that's for the finals. They have overhead, squat, and fingers for this group. And then they had a few other events for the heats that I can't quite remember. But because it's a squat and fingers group, first off, we know Graham's going to win. Even if it was deadlift for reps, he would probably beat Brian at this point just because of Brian, declining in deadlift. But we know Graham is going to do great on the squat. But I think he would have preferred the train pull. I don't think he's going to be super thrilled about having the fingers because I see Ivers and Maxime doing potentially very well in that event. They're both very fast and athletic athletes, and they're both taller than Graham. So while Graham does have stronger shoulders than the other guys, I don't necessarily see that giving him an advantage over them. If I had to predict the top 3 for the heat, I'm going to say Brian wins the heat. I think most people agree on that. I see second place. Oh man, it's a tough call. Here's the thing. I do think Graham makes it into the top 3 of his heat just because he's so statically strong. I think things like the overhead medley is going to hurt Ivers. Maxime will be okay. He can be really strong overhead. He got 5 reps with 180 kg on the log back in 2019, Arnold Santa Monica. But, that's not what the medley's about. It's about being fast and transitioning. So who knows? Maybe Ivers will surprise me. He is great at dumbbell, so that could certainly help. When I really do dig into these events, I think we have Ivers in that top three, and I think it's a super close call between Graham and Maxime. I think Graham or Maxime could be third place. And in my honest opinion, because of these events, I think it's probably too close to call between the two of them. So I'm going to say Brian number 1, Ivers number 2, and then it could either be Maxime or Graham. If it is Maxime, I'm going to say Ivers makes it to the finals. I think while Maxime was a little bit faster than him, we've never seen Maxime really prove himself to be a world-class stone lifter the way we have with Ivers. If you look at World's Ultimate Strongman 2021, Ivers had the fastest time on the stone lift through the first 9 stones. He beat Tom. He beat Tom for time. Now, granted, Tom wasn't giving it 100% the way he did back in 2019, but still, he beat Tom. The only reason he didn't win the stones was because he fumbled with the last stone and fell backwards, and he said, screw it, I've got third. That's good enough. So I'm going to say Ivers beats Maxime on stones. That being said, while he is faster, arguably faster than both of them, but at least faster than Graham on stones, I think if Graham Hicks makes it to third place, because it is a reps event, I think Graham just edges him out. I really do. We've seen Graham Hicks do a 200 kg stone for 5 reps in training. And while Ivers would be faster than him on the stone run, I don't see him outlasting him for reps. I do see Ivers beating Maxime for reps, but not Graham. So if Maxime and Ivers are second and third, Ivers makes it through. If Graham is in the top 3, I would give it to Graham Hicks over Ivers. So I'd say that's my prediction for Group 1.